Hi Capricorn, welcome to your reading. This is going to be for the next 10 days. It is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. If this one doesn't resonate, definitely check out those other placements. It is a general reading, so it may not resonate for everyone who watches. So we're going to get into your current energy, the near future, what you don't see coming, and then what Spirit wants you to focus on. I will clarify that, get you some advice, and also pull some oracle cards. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you guys for all of your support. If you're new, welcome. I do hope if you enjoy the messages, you'll consider subscribing. And if you would like a personal reading, that information's in the description box below or the About section of my channel. Okay. I don't know why it was coming up, but I'm just going to tell you, for some of you, there's something around feeling like things have been really corrupt. I mean, we're seeing a lot of that exposed. I understand that, but there's something that's really close to you. Like there's something that you feel like has just been either corruption, a lie, I don't know how to describe it. Let's see what your astrology card is. Interesting. So you're getting your own card, Capricorn. Ambition, realism, and methodical steps. Okay. Maybe the way you thought you were going to get somewhere in your life and achieve the things that you were hoping to achieve, you're realizing that there was something around that that feels now like a lie. And you're having to unpack that, which a lot of us are going through because we're obviously deconditioning from the old system. So there's something around this ambition, and it's probably going to be happening between these, well, we're between the eclipses anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised if something really snaps into place for you and you just, this is all really energy stuff right now. It's not necessarily that something in your physical world is going to be changing so dramatically. Everything right now to me in these readings feels like just an energy shift. So something about the way you see things is going to change, which of course has a ripple effect and then changes the experience that you're having with the outside world. But what's most important is the inner shift that's happening. So let's keep moving and see what we have with tarot. All right. What do we want for, okay, so the overall energy, we have the Hangman in reverse. So if you felt like, which a lot of Capricorns have because you oppose Cancer, so during that Mars cycle, you were probably affected. And if you do have Cancer placements, you were definitely affected. There was a lot of aggression during that time. And because you were opposing the sign that it was in, it probably affected you just as much. You could find yourself angry with some of the things that maybe you believed to be true for such a long period of time. And now that some of that glass is shattering, you're feeling a little frustrated. But this was a really transformative time for both Cancers and Capricorns. I want to say definitely the 3 months. I know we've talked so much about the Pluto thing. It feels worn out to me as well. It's like we just keep getting hit. I say we because I'm a Cancer with Capricorn rising. So, but this is not about me. This is about you guys. So just know I don't put myself into it unless I feel strongly that I need to say, hey, I understand what you're going through. It's really important that you see right now that this is going to break you out of whatever energy, especially whatever dark feelings you were having, and really catapult you forward. So if you felt held back and now all of a sudden you're starting to feel some kind of ambition, whatever the eclipse is on the 29th, or not whatever it is, where it sits in your chart could be really significant. So I would look into that. All right, so the Hangman clearly is stating you're coming out of a space again where you've had some light bulb moments and things are starting to change. All right, let's see where your current energy. 7 of Swords. This is, no doubt this card is really important. It isn't just about people that are liars and cheaters. It can mean so many different things. As a reader, I see it as you looking back on the past and saying, you know, there are some things that may have happened that I can't forget. But I can definitely move forward because I still have all of these other things intact. And I'm looking back like, you know, that's in the past. It's just in the past. I can't carry all of it with me. Some of it I have to leave behind. So it may feel sometimes like pieces of you are left behind. But there's something that you're going to be, like you're going to fill it with something different is the point I'm trying to get to. The Knight of Pentacles. This is not something that's going to be moving quickly. So try to have as much patience as you possibly can. If there is something that you're trying to work towards, which is maybe clearing up something that's going on in your mind or your frustrations, around something that didn't move forward, that you would put a lot of energy, work and energy into. Just know that especially around work. See, they have me look at the bottom of the deck, which is the 10 of Cups. It's the way in which you're going to be doing something. It isn't that the job necessarily is going to change. It's the way you do it. It's the way you see it. It's also having been through, hold on one second, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. Releasing stuff from your body for sure. I just feel like this is that time where you're going to be looking back at what you've already been through and realize that you worked really hard to get where you are now. Does that mean there's going to be major payoffs? Probably, because the 10 of Cups is just an indication that things are going to start feeling happier and more together. I just heard you have a tight-knit circle. You may feel very close to few people, and that really matters to you because it's important not to spread your energy too thin. So in the near future, I like this because it's a different perspective. So our perspective is always going to be changing because things around us are always changing. And in this case, the Page of Wands is like, well, I see this differently. So maybe I saw a situation with somebody, I was so angry with what they had done or how I felt treated that I didn't have a chance to actually process the energy and see it from this perspective. Now I feel like you're seeing things from that new perspective, which is good because that's new inspiration. And then the Hierophant, good. So, faith being restored, it's right in the center of your reading. It is kind of feeling like you're in control of, interesting because they never give me this with this card. The Hierophant obviously is, like the higher power. It could represent marriage. It can represent who you look up to, how you feel about your spirituality. And it can be around your beliefs. And I feel like there's something shifting around your belief system. But it also feels like you're taking back your power around your belief system too. And not letting things that are happening external to you shake you in that way. Ace of Swords. Good. That's just a sense of clarity, right? The Ace of Swords is getting very, very, very clear. Yes, it's an opportunity as well because ones are always the start of something. So you're going to get really clear information. So if you've been waiting to understand what's going on, let's say in your work life, and a part of you was getting frustrated, I think you're seeing something from a new perspective. 1, 2, you're going to understand all the work that you've done and how it's going to work out for you. I don't want to use the words pay off, but you're going to get very clear. Let's say if you've been confused about what direction you want to go, and maybe you've been wanting to make a change, but it seems like it's been dredging along. This is the time. It's in the near future. So after the eclipse, I would say you're going to get pretty clear if you're wanting to change directions or just do things differently. Okay. All right. So what you don't see coming is the 9 of Wands. You're getting on the other side of yet another moment where you feel like you've been dragged through the mud. So the Death card's coming out in reverse. I like this because the transformation is done. I think I keep wanting to tell you guys you're going to get a break. I just feel like you haven't. Not quite yet. But yes, you will. There's going to be moments when things feel good, and then there may still be a few little rickets of lows. But for the most part, you're finally getting to the other side of feeling wounded through this particular experience. So some transformation. I mean, God, I haven't seen these 2 cards, nor have I seen the 3 of these together like this. You want to talk about massive transformation. Something is definitely exploding, not in a bad way. The Tower doesn't have to be, my God, your life is blowing up. It could feel that way. I'm not going to ever say that your feelings aren't valid, but this is really breaking things apart because this is it. Like, this is your time to break free and really come out the other side a new person. It's just that time for you. All right, so let's see what Spirit wants you to focus on. The Emperor, taking back control in your life and feeling like the leader in your life. Because sometimes these things can be so incredibly exhausting. Are they important? Are they necessary to happen? Yeah. Do they suck? That too. But in this case, they're like, just focus on the strength that you have. It doesn't matter what your gender is. The Emperor is just somebody who finds themselves in a position where they can be in control of their own emotions, how they're feeling, how they're seeing things. And I think that's where you're going to get You're going to find yourself again, because I don't think that you've ever fully left that seat. You may have had to adjust your crown a few times, but in this case, I just feel like you're going to feel empowered again. Two of Cups. Let's see. This is like making sure. So the Emperor can see things very clearly. When you have the Two of Cups below, it's like you can see things for what they are. You're going to see your friendships for what they are. You can see the people who actually value you and understand you and see you for who you are. But it's also a combination of you allowing people to see who you are and understanding that it is important to let people see that so that they can be a part of your life and love you for listen, you don't have to trust everyone. There are some people that you realized you had to emotionally detach from. I get that. We constantly are going through these steps where we feel that way. But this is like you're the person overseeing these connections and recognizing who sees you for who you are and who doesn't. And after that, we have the Three of Wands. The biggest thing around this card lately is stop waiting for people to see you. If they can't naturally see you, as much as it may hurt to have to release or let go of something you'd hoped might happen, waiting is waiting. And there will always be waiting. Because if you can get really deeply into this journey, you'll understand that there was nothing you could do to change the circumstances of a situation or relationship that you had to learn from. And there's nothing harder than standing there going, wow, I've been waiting all this time and nothing has changed. So if they don't see you, they don't see you. You have to take back control and recognize that if you choose to wait, you're waiting on something that isn't going to change. All right, so the challenge, Lovers. It's around something. For some people, this is around your relationship, and there's something, or relationships in general. Just love relationships and seeing what you've been through, what you're currently experiencing, because each of you are going to be in a different place. Some of you single, some of you in relationships you recognize like this person's not necessarily going to change. The Hierophant again could represent marriage. So if you're in a marriage and you're having challenges right now and trying to decide whether you stay or not, here's an indication that something could finally, you could finally go, I'm done. I'm done. Again, that's not for everybody, but some of you put so much work in, and at this point, you're having a clear moment. Like, that's it. Like, something's going to happen to blow a situation up for you. And again, the eclipse seasons does that. It's more intense than any other full or new moon. And this one's intense. So you could find yourself going, I just can't. I can't anymore. In any area of your life. It doesn't have to necessarily be in a love relationship, but something's going to happen. All right, let's go ahead and get clarification. So ambition and methodical steps. I like this because I feel like you've always been somebody who's very structured. Like the ambition's always there, but sometimes you feel kind of held back or restricted. In this case, the Knight of Cups. I think what they're trying to say to you is you need to dig a little deeper and figure out what makes you feel good, instead of thinking of it from your perspective, which is that earthy perspective. Like, I just have to do this because I have to do it, and I know the steps I need to take. There has to be some more emotion involved and what makes you feel really good. It isn't just about accomplishing a goal or making money. It's about how you feel. And again, that's the age of Aquarius energy that's saying, be free. This is a loving period. This isn't about the constructs of that patriarchal system that says this is the order in which you do things and that's the only way that you're going to benefit from it. So I think that's kind of hard. It may be a challenge for you to shift into that energy of, wow, I can actually do something that feels good to me and still make money, if that makes sense. Okay, so the Three of Wands. Remember I said not waiting on something to come in, but Spirit's like you need to focus on how many things you wait for in your life. Listen, it's just part of what you're learning. It wouldn't change. Yes, you have free will, but there are certain things that are going to happen at certain times. Now, if something really great was coming in, I'd say that's different. You're waiting on something that you know is coming towards you. But waiting for people to change is a completely different energy. I think you realize that. There's somebody that's either been, just isn't truthful around you. And you're going to have to decide who that person is. Obviously, it's coming out as a king, so it could be a masculine energy. I'm going to say it is. I don't feel a feminine. I feel a masculine. But you'll be coming out of that. So whatever thoughts have been going on, whatever you've been waiting on, you're finally making a decision. You're not going to sit and having to understand or get lots of downloads and information. Seven of Swords with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. We have the High Priestess. Okay, so sometimes you ignore your intuition, and you know you do, and that's okay. We all do it. Even when you think you know better, you're going to do it. It just depends on how you're feeling about a situation, especially if you put a lot of work into something. A part of you may go, well, shoot, I mean, I feel betrayed. I ignored my intuition. I know nothing's moving forward, but a part of me still puts the work in because it's just easier to do so. But remember, this is going this way. So putting the work in, you're going to get clarity around how this is breaking apart, and then you're going to be moving on and looking into the distance. Let's keep going. Okay, so the Nine of Swords is in reverse, which is good because sometimes, you know, the stress that we need to be relieved of, I think you've been working on releasing some of that stress, which is good. So they're just recognizing that for you. Page of Wands with the Hierophant, the Five of Cups. Just because we have a new perspective around something and faith doesn't mean that we don't have some pain. So you could be feeling that and just looking at what you've experienced emotionally and how hard it's been, but getting clear about something that needs to change because the world is here. It's not saying you have to put a whole lot of so much more energy and figure out what needs to change. I feel like the universe is just kind of working with you right now to help you see what needs to change. So it feels like it isn't, but you're going to get clear about how it's going to. So the Nine of Wands with the Death in reverse, Temperance in reverse. I understand lack of patience. Queen of Wands in reverse. This could just, I hate to tell you this, but yeah, it could knock you off a little bit and have you feeling a little bit insecure, but you'll always pull yourself back. See, the beauty of being a Capricorn sun is, and whatever placement you have with that, is how strong you are. Because I don't believe it, as much as something may affect you in the way that you feel or your worthiness or whatever, I don't think anybody necessarily sees that. I just think they're internal things that we go through. But this isn't, listen, is it a great thing? It's not fun to go through, but something is significantly changing. And for a lot of you, this could be around just the energy that you feel in your relationships and what you're going to choose not to express yourself in, not to give your energy to. And that's a good thing. So let's see, with the Emperor and the Two of Cups, we have the Page of Pentacles. Well, something's going to be starting fresh. You could have definitely a new idea. If you're investing into your work life at this point, all this other stuff may be going on, but there's a part of you that's like, you know, I kind of want to start fresh with something. I want to do something a different way. There will be somebody who will be there. Like you're taking back that boss type energy, and there's someone that you may work with. So you may have a partner that comes in and says, hey, I want to do this with you, and let's put some money in together, whatever that may be. It feels like a fresh start around something to do with your work. And then this is an expectation, different meaning from what I was reading before, of, you know, we do this work and we know that things are going to come in for us. It's a good sign. The King of Cups in reverse. Don't let the naysayers or anyone around you, especially a father figure, say anything to stop you. Whoever this person is that just is not emotionally available, sometimes that person could be the voice in your head that goes, don't do those things. It's not the way to do it. You have to trust that you are different than the people who came before you, right? There's always some kind of advancement that they'll never understand. All right, so let's see what the challenge with the Lovers. We have the Knight of Swords. Is somebody going to reach out? Maybe you'll hear something. Yeah, is it challenging for you to maybe reach out yourself? And I don't know, there's something about communication that is difficult, especially with a partner. So you may be finding yourself having a tough time having conversations with whoever you're involved with, if you are. If not, it could be that somebody's having a hard time reaching out because they don't know what to say. Okay, let's see what your advice is. This is for Capricorn. Okay, the Magician. So they're wanting you to get back in this energy. This is huge with the Emperor and the Magician. It's saying this is a time where you are truly going to be creating something new. I don't mean to blow smoke up your rear end, but whoever's listening to this, you know that there's something incredibly magical about you. And I think you're honing in on that ability. And whatever else this other stuff is, I feel like a lot of it's noise. Not saying it's not important, but a lot of that can be noise because this part of you is coming back to life. And there's just something really mystical and magical about who you are. And they're like, own that. The Lovers is in reverse. So if it is a partnership that you have to let go of, or some soul connection that you're like, no, I'm magical. And if you don't see that and you can't be there, let it go. Again, easier said than done. 3 of Wands, that indication of, do I wait? No, you look out into the horizon and you go, there's such a huge world out there. And the advice is to be looking out there and saying, no, there's so much more. I know I can create so much more. And then the Knight of Swords is coming out to tell you when the opportunity comes, you're going to know it's not like the information or a message or somebody coming towards you. It's going to be very obvious. This isn't somebody that's current or in the past. This is somebody new with the 2 of Cups. So regardless of where you are right now, if you're feeling like you know you've disconnected from a partner and that has to come to an end, there is something that's going to be coming towards you. If you've ever questioned if you're going to be completely alone, you're not. If partnership is really important to you, there's a reason that it's really important to you. Because if it wasn't, it wouldn't be, right? I don't think you're trying to force something. I just think there's somebody else that's going to understand you and be able to, exactly that, hold your hand through a process. And there's some kind of, I keep wanting to say the word magic. There's some kind of magic that's involved in it. You're going to know it when you meet this person. It's going to feel very familiar. They just showed me the 6 of Cups on the bottom. Okay. I know what I've been forgetting to do. The other advice. You know what? And they're having me look at these cards. So I forgot to do it with the other signs, but I'm going to do it with you. What other advice do we have? Be without malice. So there's a reason they have me look at those cards and pick them up. We can all be this way. I've probably teased you guys a couple times because I know what the Capricorn placements, what we're capable of. So just try to understand, as much as you may feel some of these dark feelings towards somebody else, try to work through that without wanting to destroy someone. Know your power. This is the most important part of this. Like the magician and the magical type of energy that you are, you know how powerful you are. And that can be used in both directions. So we are all connected. We know that. And then the last one is challenge your perception. Remember I said you're going to have a new way of seeing things. So this could be shifting you into basically seeing a new way or a new reason why things had to be the way that they are or the things that have happened, but they're asking you to challenge that. Okay, let's get into the Lover's Oracle. What messages do we need? We've got, give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. So for some of you, yes. When I talk about it, something that's going on, I specified this in the beginning. It could be the energy of releasing something. It doesn't necessarily have to be that you were connected to someone, but Spirit's trying to push you to release whatever connections you have, emotionally or otherwise, so that you can be open to something new coming in. For others of you, yes, a physical relationship could be separating or going through some kind of a break. And this is allowing you, this is the space. You're going to be ready and open very quickly to something new that's coming towards you. And just, that's it. Be prepared for it. Okay. Don't make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do, for it is only in being true to yourself that you can be true to others. This is important. There's been a lot of work around the whole guilt and what and how I need to show up for people, especially for you. So it's important not to feel the guilt. Soulmate, your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this, and they will manifest physically. Okay, we have a lot of soulmates, but for a lot of people, this boils down to, in the human brain, that one person that we feel the most connected to, that we feel we want to have in relationship. So if this is something that you've been really, really setting your sights on, like you want that one person, not saying everybody's going to get it. That would be impossible. You'd have to read with me. And I'm not trying to push personals. I'm just saying you have to know that you're each going to get that at a different time. All right, let's see what we get with the wisdom of the oracle. The questions that we all have around why things happen the way that they do. I think you're finding the understanding around why things happen the way that they do. So you could be 31, born on the 3rd, the 1st, or the 4th. Treasure Island, good. Because if something had felt like it wasn't working out for you, there's an end to something difficult and something opening up. Maybe finding the answers is going to open you up to feeling much better about the choices that you're making. And then happy. So this is good because this is going to be a happy time. Even if it feels tough at moments, it's going to bring you also a lot of joy. So the 26th, look at the 26th of the month, because if I'm not mistaken, today is the 22nd. So just pay attention to that date. Something great could happen that day. You could just have some fun, but there's going to be some joy that comes up. Did I say you could be 26, born on the 26th, the 2nd, the 6th, or the 8th? And then we have the by the book. See, the way I'm explaining this card is it's fine to follow in the footsteps of others, but we also have to understand that there's more than one way to do things. There isn't just one construct. And I think a part of you says, okay, I can follow the leader in some cases, but 11, very spiritual numbers, saying, but also remember that there are other ways to do things. So open up to that. It's going to make you feel a lot happier. All right, let's look at the last card. We're going to get the Australian Animal Oracle. Okay, that bee wants to come out. I'm going to bury him because I don't feel like he's the one for you. Let's see what we get. All right, so we've got the Eagle Energy, Spiritual Wisdom. And that's what I feel like you've gained so much of. You could be 23, born on the 23rd, the 2nd, the 3rd, or the 5th. Let's see what the message is. Oh, right to it. Okay, so the Eagle message. Eagle encourages us to look at things from a higher perspective. By raising ourselves up to view life from Spirit's perspective, we gain the ability to see more clearly and welcome far-ranging opportunities with gratitude. Eagle reminds us to see our life from a higher and different point of view. Hold on, I want to reread that. Eagle reminds us that to see our life from a higher and different point of view helps realize our true potential. Remember, I kept saying that you're going to see things from a different point of view, a new perspective. To gain clarity of your current situation, Eagle asks that you see the bigger picture and take action to seize the opportunity to manifest your desired outcome. Higher perspective, manifestation, seize opportunities. Okay. Which I know you will, because you're going to be seeing things much differently. So you'll do things differently. All right, my loves, those were your readings. That was your reading. Thank you so much for being here. Please hit that like button and leave me a comment if you feel like you want to. And if you'd like a personal reading, as you know, the info's in the description box below or the About section of my channel. Hope you guys have a great 10 days. Sending you a ton of love, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.